Do you ever have an issue ripping out the valve stem on your E-Moto? Well, today we're going to install a rim lock on the Rawrr Mantis X Pro so that we don't keep spinning the tire. On full-size dirt bikes, you typically see on your wheel, you'll see the valve stem, and then you'll see another thing. This is what's called a rim lock. This will grip the tire to the rim and prevent the tire from spinning on the wheel. Why is this a necessary thing? The Rawrr Mantis X Pro and other e-bikes, E-Motos, have this problem where the tire itself will spin, causing the valve stem to turn. If you've got that nut cranked all the way down to the wheel, that means that when the tire rotates on the wheel, the tube itself will rotate with it and rip out at the valve stem, causing you to get a flat tire. By adding this rim lock inside here, we can prevent this from spinning. This problem is more common if you're riding off-road on tracks and trails, where when you're leaving a turn, you get on the throttle really fast. Because of the amount of torque that these bikes have, it can twist that tire. So if you've got a smaller E-Moto like this Kung Feng M200 or maybe a Tudio or a Yasma, there isn't enough power to necessarily turn that tire on the wheel, so you might not have to do that. I will link this rim lock below. This one will fit on the Rawrr Mantis X Pro. When you're looking to buy one, check out the dimensions listed on the wheel itself. It says 17 by 1.85. 1.85 is the width of the wheel. On this rim lock, it says 1.85. Now there is a range that this can fit, but you want to find one that is the closest dimension to your wheel as possible. I've got content on e-bikes, obviously, but I also got a lot of content on adventure bikes, dirt bikes, and street bikes, including supermotos. If you like two wheels and you like motorcycles, consider subscribing to the channel. Obviously, first thing we're gonna do is to take the wheel off. Keep track of the spacers that fall out when you take the wheel out. They are different for each side. Now that we've got the wheel off the bike, we can deflate it, take the tire and tube off. Start by just breaking the bead off the rim. Usually you can do that by hand. Flip it around, do the same thing. This gives you more space to move the tire on the wheel. I like doing sprocket side up. Small little bites, that's all you need to do. We're not racing the clock. Now we're going to take the tube out just by pushing the valve stem through. These factory tubes are really thin. I'm not surprised they rip on people. So there's no existing hole other than the valve stem hole that's on the bottom here. What I'm going to do is go over 4 spokes and then find the next big spot between. So if I go 1, 2, 3, 4, this is a small spot, whereas this one is a lot wider of a space. So I'm gonna drill the hole right in here. Obviously we have to take the rim strip off. So we see the valve stem hole here. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4. But again, this spot is pretty narrow. So I'm gonna go over 1 more spoke and go in between those 2 there. What we wanna do is make sure that there isn't the seam for the wheel right here, because these are 2 pieces of aluminum that are welded together. If you're on the seam and you drill through it, you're gonna break it. Use a center punch, as centered as possible between those 2 spokes. Leave a dent there, and then we can use a small drill bit to drill a pilot hole. I'm going to use what's called a step bit to find the right thickness of hole that I need to fit the rim lock through without being too big. There we go. Before we put it back together, we want to take a round file, make sure there's no sharp spots on this wheel. The rim strip only had one hole before for the valve stem, so now we got to add a new hole because I want the rim lock to be on top of this. Some people use electrical tape or duct tape, but we can just use the existing rim strip. It's still in good condition. Make sure there's no twists in it when you're putting it on. So I'm going to find the original hole, line up the rim strip hole with that, and then I'm going to locate my new hole, which is right here. I'm going to poke a hole through it, and that's where the rim lock's going to go, like so. So now with this in here, you can see how it works. The bead of the tire is going to sit in these channels here between the rim lock and the rim, and when you tighten it down, it squeezes against the rim so that the tire itself can't spin. It's kind of locked in place, hence the name rim lock. When you're putting the tire back on, look for a rotational arrow. Some of these tires are directional. This one's really not, but there is a preferred direction, so I'm going to go with that. I'm going to use some tire spray. This is basically just a tire paste compound, makes it nice and easy to slip on. I'm going to start with the rim lock side so I can get the bottom half in. Spray the wheel as well. Might be lucky enough to get one half on just by pressing it. Sometimes that happens, but I don't think so. Not today. Remember what I said about small bites? Small bites is the way to do it. All right, got half of it on. Now we're going to put the tube in, but we got to put the core back in the valve stem first, because we do want to put a little bit of air in this as we put the tube in. Helps prevent it from twisting or pinching. Just enough to keep it shaped, that's all you need. Go ahead and find the hole for the valve stem. I find it easiest to put the tube in first and then put the valve stem in the hole. When you're on the rim lock, try to pull it up and put the tube on the other side of the rim lock. We don't want it to fall underneath of it. All right, now we can get the tube in place, put the valve stem in. This takes some finagling, a little bit of luck and a little bit of practice. All right, tube is in place. Now we can put the tire on. Huge value add is this bead lock tool. I'll put this in the description below. Hugely helpful when putting a tire on. Just gonna push it on first by hand. Throw this bead lock tool on so I can get it on camera in a good spot. Slides over the rim, slides onto the spoke, and it holds that bead in place. Favorite saying again, little bites, little bites. Now when you get to the spot where the rim lock is, you kind of need to go around it as best as you can. But when you get there, tap the rim lock in out of the lower channel. When you get there and you can hold it, make sure you can move the rim lock in and out so it's not stuck on the tire itself, and we should be good. And we're on. I didn't even need my big tire iron that time. Make sure your valve stem is straight with the wheel. We don't want it to be twisted any direction because we just did this whole thing so it doesn't spin. We want to make sure it's straight. Now we want to inflate it and set the bead with that rim lock still loose, by the way. With that little bit of air that I added to the tube, it kind of sucked it back into the tire. So I'm going to tighten this down to pull it back out so I can set the bead. All right, let's set that bead. See how it's nice and even all the way around? The rim lock should be fairly tight at that point. This did come back out, by the way. The valve stem did come back out. Let's check the other side. Let's check the other side of the tire, make sure that's in place. It did not seat all the way right here. Let's pull some air out, wiggle it around a little bit. Gotta make sure it seats properly. I've got free play there now. So I'm gonna add some spray here where I know it was pinching. This way it can seat just a little bit easier. Let's throw some more air in. Try again. Drop down over on this side. There we go. Aha! That worked. Got it. Did you see it come up right there? So nice and even all the way around on this side. Let's check the other side. All right, nice and even all the way around on this side too. So now let's set the tire pressure where I want it. I run this about 18 PSI. Let's put the valve cap back on so I don't forget. I'll zoom in and I'll show you my little trick. You might have seen it when I first did this to take it off. I put the lock nut against the valve cap itself, so there's still a little bit of wiggle room there. Now we can tighten down the rim lock. Thread it on by hand. And this does not need to be gorilla tight, but you do definitely want this to be snug. And this is also something you want to check consistently when you're riding, just like your spokes. Make sure that this is tight, make sure that nothing's spinning or getting looser. One more and we should be good. There we go. This is also an optimal time to check your spoke tensions. And if you find any loose ones like that, grab your spoke wrench and tighten it up. When you're putting your wheel back in, this is a great time to lubricate your axle. Don't put your axle back in dry. This would be much easier if I had the stock size tire on. You might say, why? Why would it be easier? Because I'm hitting the swing arm with the tire. I wouldn't say this is enough of a reason to stay with the stock size tire, but it's definitely a reason. This is a pain. All right, before we tighten this down, we want to make sure our chain is at the right tension too. I've got a video all about that, so I'll link that one above. One important thing to note, this is an off-road tire for an off-road bike. I'm not balancing the wheel in this video. If I were to take a wheel that has a rim lock to the go-kart track or put it onto a street bike, I'd want to balance that wheel. Make sure that it has the weights to offset the additional weight that I added of the rim lock. That way it doesn't wobble at high speeds. That didn't take too long. It wasn't too expensive, and that tire is not going to spin on the rim, which will save us time and money and not having to replace the tubes. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. I've got all kinds of other e-moto content, especially on the Rawrr X and the X Pro. I'll link the playlist right here for all of those things. If you find this helpful, please consider subscribing to the channel. I want to be a resource for you guys, so leave any comments, any questions in the comment section below, and I'll do my best to answer them.